I've been having some fun this week making seed packets. And what started it all was I was working on this page and I wanted to put this envelope flip on this page. I have a card in there. And then I had the flap coming here. And I thought I'll make a peekaboo pocket like Kathleen Maurer does. I'll link to her channel so you can see how she makes hers. She uses them in a lot of her journals. But I was thinking, well, I could put a tag there, but then what would I stick in there? And anyway, I came around to the idea of making a seed packet to attach to this. And I just used a blank page out of the back of an old novel and used some of my stamps to put a design on it. And then I glued it down I didn't glue it all the way down because I wanted to be able to turn that little flap in. But I glued it from here and across the bottom. And then it has the tag can show here. So that was my inspiration for making these seed packets. Then I got into it and made a bunch more. Isn't that the way we usually do it? The only other thing I would say was you could stick a little card into this seed packet. This is just a little index card that I stenciled a design on at some point. I think I was testing out my inks to decide on the color. You could cut it down where it would fit all the way in, or you could leave it like this, or it's just up to you. You could leave it plain. You could just tuck that under or glue it down if you didn't want to have the extra bulk in your journal. So anyway, that was my inspiration for that. For that one, I used a blank book page, and then I decided, well, I wonder how it would be to just stamp on a book page that has writing on it. And I did on this one, and it's too confusing. There's too much going on, in my opinion. I think it's still cute, but I think there's too much going on. So I decided that I would put gesso on this page, and I did, and then I put some ink on it to tone down that whiteness. And then I just used some stamps. That's a Dollar Tree stamp. This daisy, I use these pens, brush pens, to draw some stems on it. And some other stamps to put just some things on it. This is a script stamp, and those came out of a postage stamp set. But you can use whatever you have and want to use. It doesn't have to have things all over it. If you don't want to do that, you can just make it plain. Or you can use a book page, like a magazine page. You could use a magazine page like this one if you wanted to have some color on your seed package. And this, you could probably get a couple out of this. Let me show you. I have a little template that I made just to get my head around it, you might say. I measured some seed packets, and most of them are about the same size. These are about the same. These two are a little bit taller. So it depends on what you have that you're working with. I cut a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper in half. So you have a piece that's 5.5 inches tall. Then you can score it. You can use your scoreboard if you have one, or you can just fold it if you don't. 1/2 inch at the top, 1/2 inch on this is going to be the front side, this part, that part folds back, and 1/2 inch at the bottom, all the way across. And then what you do, I did that on this one. I folded it. I've decorated this one already, but you can do it either way. You can decorate first or you can cut first. But then you just cut off these pieces on the back because you don't need a flap on the back. And this little piece that's here, I think I cut that too deep. And then the bottom, the same thing, this little square. Get rid of that. And then this side at the bottom. Oops, I didn't cut that straight at all. Once you get it where you're ready to glue it together, you may have to trim these edges a little bit for it to fold, for the flaps to fold around it correctly. Okay, let me get rid of this mess in the seed packets while we're at it. These are some that I got when I visited Monticello a long time ago, and I always thought they were pretty. So I kind of patterned some of these after this one with the English lavender on it. Okay, so you have this shape then, and what you just need to do is just glue. If you want to leave the top flap open, then don't glue it right now, but what you do first is you glue this side piece over this, and I think I need to cut that off a little bit too. Should have checked before I started gluing. If you don't like the idea of using book page, there are lots of other options that you can use. You can also round these corners if you want to do that. Or you can just, like on this one, I just give it a little shape and not round them. I've rounded some of the others. And we're going to leave the top open, so we'll just glue the bottom. And fold it up like that. And you can have something stamped on this bottom part too. It might be nice to put a number. I have different stamps that I used in doing this, but use whatever you have. If you have stamps like some of these little ones, these are some that I got. My friend gave me some of these, and I bought some of these from on Amazon. But you could use things like this. It's a postage cancellation stamp, but you could add that to something, or you could put script on something, or any of these little designs look cute on there. And there are also flowers there that you can. I use this flower to stamp those daisies, but you can use other ones too. I got this, and it has leaves, and there's a mum and some other flowers and things in here that, you can just use whatever you have, whatever you want to use. It doesn't have to be floral necessarily. And another option, while we're talking about options, I used some paper napkins and just peeled off the top layer with the design on it and glued it down. I used my glue stick, and it's bubbling up a little bit right there. But I just glued it. I cut out my shape and got the corners rounded and everything folded. And then I glued this napkin on there, just that part, and then let it dry real good before I folded it back up. And you may be thinking, well, what am I going to use this for? And I have some ideas for that too. One thing you can do is what I did with the one I showed you first, is included in a peekaboo pocket. But you could also glue these flaps down and just glue this on a page. Let's pull a page over here so we can see what it would look like. We'll pretend like this one's a good page. This does not go with this journal, but we'll pretend. But you could glue it to a page, like a corner tuck, and put a card in there. Here's a card. You could put a card in there behind that. Or you could glue it down on three sides as a pocket and just put something in there. You could leave this flap up and not fold it there. Just leave it up, and you'd have a pocket in the seed packet. And then you could have a tuck spot either on this side or on this side, however you wanted to put it in there. So that's one option, is a pocket or a tuck spot. Another option is you could just not glue it together, and you could glue one of these flaps down so that it folds out. If you had this flap glued down, you could fold it out and write on the inside, and then you would have a hidden writing spot, and then just fold it back over. You might need a paper clip or something to hold it in place, and it might work better if it were on a page on this side, so that you fold it out and you can write inside. That's just an idea. I don't know how successful it would be in actual use, but it's an idea. I think these pumpkin napkins are cute and would be really cute for a fall journal. This one I stamped seeds on it, and I'm pretending that's a blue dahlia, but I'm not sure it is. This was on a napkin I got at Walmart. I think this is a Pioneer Woman napkin because it has those blue dots on it. I think that's what it was. But that made a cute seed packet, I thought. This is another pumpkin napkin, and it's part of that pumpkin napkin. They're catty corner across from each other, little cocktail napkins. I thought they made cute seed packets. And this one was a poppy doily, and I glued the napkin down just dry. You can also use Mod Podge on that to glue it down and put a coat over the top of it if you want to protect it. But I think I'm just going to leave mine like that. But I stamped poppy on there. Another idea, you could just tuck it into a pocket. You could have your seed packet glued together. Top is open, so you could put something in there. Have this glued and just tuck it into a pocket somewhere. Do I have a pocket here? Here's a pocket. You just tuck into a pocket like that, or that could tuck in there. And I think that would be cute also. You could have it as a flip. Just glue this over the top of the page, and it could flip up. And if you wanted to, you could have, it gets kind of awkward if it's flipping up and you're trying to write on that. So I'm not sure I would do it that way, but you could have it as a flip up if you wanted to have something underneath it, have the writing space hidden there. Or you could put it on the side and have it flip out. You have to decide what you want to do about these extra flaps, if they would annoy you or not. Glue them down. Or you could even have it on the bottom and have it flip down. You could also use these seed packets as something to have it glued up where it's a pocket, like this one. And you could put things in it to include in a Happy Mail package. You could put, like, you probably not want to put anything that has a big bead on it, but you could put paper clips like that in there, or shaped ones. I don't have any shaped ones over here right now, but I know you've seen those. Different kinds, and different ones that are more flat. And even the ones that are covered in paper and hidden paper clips. You could put a variety in there, and you could still have the flowers on the front, but you might want to indicate that it's paper clips, or, you know, ephemera, or whatever you want to call it. You might want to label it so the person that's getting it kind of has an idea of what's inside. Don't spoil the surprise, but you know what I'm saying. Other things you could put in them are, you could put journal cards in, like like I did this index card, cut it down to fit, just have it where it fits inside. And probably wouldn't want to seal the flap on that. You just might want to have it like that. But you could have 2 or 3 journal cards in there that are maybe stencil like this one is, or have some stamping on it, or a scripture on one side and room to write on the back, or whatever interest or theme you have for your journal. You could make the journal card fit that, or what they're interested in, your friend is interested in. You can also put a little booklet, a little small booklet, or maybe something like this, which is just a little journal card that I made, a grid pattern index card, and I just have a stamp that has those little banners on it. I just drew the line on there. And this was something I found not long ago. I'd made it a good while ago, and I just thought, that's really cute. I need to make some more of those. I like it when that happens. That's a tea bag over that. But anyway, that's another story. Other things you could put in here are like some sequins or beads, or some of these little pieces of bling. You could put some of those in there. Just any little decorative thing that you might want to include. This is a hot glue. It's got sparkles in it, but I made some faux wax seals with that. And if you had some of those, you could put those in there. Just any little things that your friend might like to use to decorate her journals. And I just noticed this. Here's another idea. This is a little crochet doily flower, and that would be fun to put inside these, 1 or 2 of these in there, maybe with some of these little silk flowers, fabric flowers. Also labels, or die cuts of flowers, die cuts of hearts, stickers, just anything like that that you would want to include. So there's lots of options what you could put inside these, and I just think they would be really cute to include in a Happy Meal package. We've talked about uses, and we've talked about how to make them. One other thing I wanted to show you was this large one that I did. This is scrapbooking paper, and I just took this pen. It's a Tombow brush pen. It has that kind of point on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. And I just wrote the flower. I'm not very good at that. I'm okay, but I'm not great at writing like that. But I tried stamping it. My stamps didn't make me happy. I'll show you what I did. It's some of that brush script thing that kind of goes up and down, and I just didn't like the way it looked. I thought, I'll just write it with a pen. So that's what I did. And then I stamped this on with these alphabet stamps that came from Dollar General. And I can't remember how much they were. They were less than $5, but I can't remember how much exactly they were. This one is more like this size, the Larkspur from Monticello. But it's basically the same thing. You measure out your size and just add a 1/2 inch around the edges for that flap. And this flap goes down first, and then this flap, and then that one is the top flap. That's the way the seed packet does it. But you don't have to do it that way. You can do it however you want to do it. So this one has a bigger flap at the top and at the bottom too. So that's another option. And it has the seam right there in the middle, so it doesn't have those side seams. But most of the other ones that I had are the ones that have those that particular shape with the flaps on the sides. These are some other options of scrapbooking paper you could use. This is just a piece that I had out of a packet I got. And then this was out of a 12 by 12 pad that I used part of it on something else. But I thought that would make a pretty one to put the stripes on it and then stamp it. But it's double-sided, so you could use either side actually for that. And that would be an option. I used coffee dyed paper, and this one is just regular coffee dye. Another option is you don't have to necessarily use napkins that have flowers or fruits and vegetables or things like that. That's what all of those, well, these are stamps, but the others are. But I have this one. This is from Dollar Tree, I think. It has the star border around the edge, and then it has this red pickup on it. And that would be fun if you were doing something that, I don't know, I just think that would make a cute seed packet. It's not necessarily about flowers, but it would be a patriotic thing, which I guess I'm thinking about now because today was election day. The results came in. Anyway, that is my idea for making seed packets, and I hope that was something that you're interested in doing. You could draw, you know, simple flowers on the front. These are daisies, but they don't have to be drawn that specific. They could be more vague. You could use stencils, like this stencil. I don't know what kind of flower that is, but that would work. That's just part of it, but you could have something like that on the front. Or you could just have, you could not have a picture of a flower. You could just have some words on there. I have some other little stamps. This one just is a little viney thing that would be very vague design on there, but it would be floral in nature. Another one is, this is just a scripture stamp. It says, each of us will be a blessing to the other. But I think that would be fun to have it stamped on the back and have that on there. So there are lots and lots of options on how to do this. And you could, like on this one, you might want to stamp it going up and down. So anyway, I hope you like that, and I hope you will enjoy making some seed packets. And if you have any questions about something I didn't cover, it's not real technical, because you can basically do whatever you want to do, like always with junk journaling. Any kind of paper that you want to use, you could use it, and it would make a cute packet, I think. Maybe not cardstock. I think cardstock might be a little heavy for it, but like laser paper, book page, coffee dyed paper, scrapbooking paper would work. And also, I'm sure there are just loads of digitals that you could use to do this. And there's probably even some that are already designed as seed packets. So you might want to look into that if you have a printer and like to do that. I don't have a printer, so I kind of have to work around that. And that's kind of fun to me anyway. I enjoy making it happen in spite of the fact that I don't have a printer. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.